Hello and welcome to Iceland. What I have for you today might be big news. Very big. Not a total surprise though, something that has been cooking for a while. And after this earthquake swarm that we have been witnessing in the last 24 hours, at least two of our experts are not ruling out an offshore eruption. And if this scenario goes that way, we might not even have to wait for too long. And I might have to hit the road soon to drive to the Reykjanes Peninsula if this is in fact moving into this direction. So I'm only going to explain the basics now. And what we have is the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, or Reykjanes Ridge as we call it, under our waters. And Iceland is just a part of it that happens to be above sea level due to all this magma production from the mantle plume under our country, and offshore volcanism is more frequent on the ridge than onshore. And this is a little overview photo with the tip of the peninsula here and the village Grindavik here as reference points. And this is the ridge before it becomes Iceland. Just tectonic fractures and volcanoes all around. And behind some of the eruptions listed there, we have very little data. In some cases, just fishermen who suddenly came home with the catch of the day fully cooked, while other stories are backed with more data like islands coming and going. And islands usually don't last for very long there. And when we look at the seismometers and do a little layer blending, this is how it looks. The first earthquake swarm was at a location that is not well known, but the one that's shaking now, that's where we get most of the volcanism. And as often before, when we enter new chapters, not all scientists agree. And this morning the Met Office was saying that this is nothing, just the usual. And I'm not sure what to say about that. There is less interval between chapters there. We went through a big one in December, and what we are seeing now is not within the so-called norm from around here. And the Icelandic media noticed this as well. And they called Professor Þorvaldur Þórðarson, who has the tendency to ruin the day for the staff at the Met Office. And he was saying that this is a very likely magma accumulation, and we could just as well expect the next eruption to take place there, but not at Svartsengi, where we have a magma chamber almost full now. And he has actually spoken about this location often. And I actually believe him when he is saying that we are looking at a build-up to a volcanic eruption. It's just a matter of time. And is the time now? That is a big question. And today's events turned out to be very helpful for a video that I'm making about this little science debate we see pop up every now and then. And I just needed a little more meat on the bones of that script. And it so turned out that I got a free Sunday steak when the state television decided to interview the research professor Ármann Höskuldsson, bypassing the Met Office, which is the official go-to source. And it was obvious that he was very careful. He spoke about tension release like the Met Office, and he also pointed out that we could actually detect a column rising up on the seismometers, and that could just as well be magma. So we can say now for sure that Mother Earth has been ticking in all the long-term boxes for some years now when it comes to preparations for an offshore eruption. And what we see today is that Mother Earth is ticking into the other boxes. The boxes that mean that we could see an offshore eruption quite soon. And the eruption itself is not the biggest news. It is likely the proximity to the international airport, which explains why I'm not doing the whole story now. This is big. And I have made videos about this kind of scenario before, because this region has actually teased us before, and this could just as well be yet another teaser. We have to make that absolutely clear. Don't go changing your bookings. There is nothing saying now that an offshore eruption will be starting in the next days. It has also have to be absolutely clear that an offshore eruption would not be a surprise. It would just be a direct continuation of what started in 2021. And I think it's still too early to say where this is going to take us this time, all the way or not. I can at least say for myself that I'm not going to jump into the car tonight to drive the 400 or 500 kilometers to be as close as possible. Things are a bit hectic, but not so hectic. And it also needs to be said that in case of a volcanic eruption, if it would occur on the ridge itself, it would not take it a long time to form an island. And how things would turn out has a lot to do with the weather. This could be everything between a little tourist show, Gone with the Wind, or a major disaster, covering the complete peninsula with ash and closing the international airport frequently. So this is wide open as things are now. And there are new features now available on the seismometer website where it's easier to see the depth of earthquakes. So I'm leaving a link for it, and my next update will be very soon. And with that, I'm sending you best regards from the volcano island, Iceland.